St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper is providing an update about a large fire at a fuel disposal facility. Let's take you there live.
6:35 this morning, crews responded to a working fire at 20 Kiefer Road. The business is known as Sonics. It's a hazardous material company that deals with different chemical compounds. Upon arrival, crews we had reports of explosions, and crews on arrival, explosions were continuing in the facility for about a good 45 minutes while they were on scene. There was one, unfortunately, we've had one injury. A staff member received burns and was transported to St. Catharines General Hospital through EMS.
What's happening with the residents in the area?
Because of the black plume coming from the fire, and we've got a nice south wind, about 10 blowing, we decided to evacuate the neighborhood just to the north of the building. We don't know how many residents, but we've had them evacuate and then shelter in place at one of our local community centers.
Which community centers should they shelter at?
Yeah, we're sending everybody to the Niagara and Carlton Street location. It's the Kiwanis Aquatic Center, and we'll be putting messaging out on our Twitter feed to residents in the area. If they want any information, please check the St. Catharines Fire Twitter.
Residents that haven't been evacuated, are you asking them to get their doors and windows closed?
Yeah, those that are in the adjacent areas, just shelter in place, keep the doors and windows closed, and they should be fine.
Dave, what size is the building that we're working with, and is there any exposure issues right now?
Unfortunately, there's one exposure that we've had a fire extend into the neighboring building to the east. It's an industrial area, so the building is probably 400 feet by 200 feet. In the original building, the exposure, I want to say, is similar in size. And crews now, we've brought in more resources so that we've got some crews working on the Sonics building at 20 Kiefer, and now we have crews working in the adjacent building on Kiefer Road.
How long do you anticipate being on scene today? Is this something that's...
I would anticipate we'll be there for the day.
Is the fire still defensive?
Yes. Yeah, we're still working defensively on the fire. On the exposure building to the east, we've got some crews inside trying to knock that fire down there.
Concerns of chemicals that might still be in the building?
The owner is on scene now, and we have a good description of what the chemicals are in the building. We are concerned that there are some cleaning agents in the one bay, and we're trying to determine the level of fire, how far it's extended, and our exposure to that area.
Is there any worry of chemicals spilling into the canal?
Nothing's going into the canal specifically. That's one of our concerns, is we're trying to mitigate the water going into the lake. We know that all of the runoff is being collected in the ditches and it's running through the system, and that it's going into the lake. We have a hazardous material company on scene right now. They're launching a boat, and they brought in marine booms. So we're working to stem the water from flowing into the lake, and then whatever's into the lake right now we're trying to capture.
We're next to the police line, and some more police coming by asked to evacuate that area as well, so we're expanding the perimeter. Is it expanding right now, and how large are we running?
We're keeping the perimeter the size that it is. We're just concerned if the winds do shift, we don't want to have everyone get caught in a shift in the wind and then get caught in the smoke. So that's why we've expanded the perimeter, just as a precaution.
The residents who were evacuated, can you expect to return to their homes tonight?
Yes, we're hoping that we'll have this. They're going to be here for most of the day, I anticipate, and then hopefully by dinner time tonight we can have this resolved and get them back home.
Who do you have from that part on scene, and do you have any mutual aid dispatch?
No mutual aid has been requested at this time. We have about 27 men on scene and women, and we're switching crews. The fire happened right at shift change, so at the one point in time we had both platoons on scene at the same time.
Is there any indication what exactly caused this?
We haven't even got there yet. We're still trying to put the fire out. The Office of the Fire Marshal has been contacted, so they're on their way. The Ministry of Environment has been contacted. They're on their way. TSSA is also on their way, and the Hazardous Material Company is on scene now. No estimate of number of people.
How's the patient in the hospital?
We know the patient is conscious, but is received significant burns. That's all we have.
Was the patient a worker there?
Yes, yeah. It was a gentleman that was working there. We don't know how he received the burns. We just know upon arrival he had significant burns. EMS transported him.
Was he the only one in the building at the time?
Yes, correct. All right, we good? Okay, awesome. No, thank you.
Well, we've been listening to St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper providing an update about a large fire at a fuel disposal facility. We also saw some pretty large explosions there as well. We understand that one person was injured. That's according to one of our affiliates.